everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel and I'm a fashion reseller over on Poshmark. So today's video, as you have seen in the description, is going to be a bag cleaning video, kind of a basic bag cleaning for you. So I have two bags here I'm going to show you. I'm going to clean both of them for you. One of my best friends is moving away and she decided to give me these bags. So I'm pretty excited that I got them for free. I did tell her I'd send her the money, but she said no. So here's the bags. They're both Coach bags. There's two. They're both fairly large, and obviously they're different. This one is a really bright pink. That one is more of a white. So first tip before we even get into this video is if you have two bags that are different colors like this, especially something that's darker and lighter, I would not soak these together, as some of the color may come off of this bag and bleed onto this, and then I would have like a really light pink bag, which would be pretty, but it's not exactly original. So I'm not going to be doing that at the same time. Now if I have two bags that are the same, like if I had two pink bags or whatever, I would probably soak them together. I've done that with some of my Dooney and Burke bags, but for today I'm going to be soaking them separately. So some tools that you're going to need. You're going to need a big basin. Just a regular sink may not fit a bag of this size, but if that's all you have, do the best you can. I do have a wash basin out in my garage that will fit this bag pretty well, so I'm going to be using it. You're going to be using warm water, and the reason I say warm is you don't want to be using hot. Hot can damage the leather. Now this other bag is a leather, but it's coated, so it wouldn't damage that one. But anything that has leather, this has a leather trim up here and the handles are leather. You don't want to use hot water on leather. It can really damage and dry out your leather, so make sure you're using warm water. I'm also going to be using a little bit of detergent. I'm just going to be using my Arm & Hammer basic detergent. Don't use a lot, as it's really hard to get the detergent out of the bag as far as rinsing. So I'm only going to be using a little bit of that. I'm also going to have on hand my OxiClean and my OxiClean gel. So the reason I use these is sometimes you get set-in stains on the bag, and you need to use that in that area. Full disclaimer, do not get the OxiClean on this part of the bag. And the reason I say that is I had another Coach bag similar to these bags. I'm going to pop up here for you. And it had, I had cleaned it, didn't really realize that OxiClean would mess up the leather. I was spot cleaning it just with like a toothbrush, and I got some of the OxiClean on this, and it discolored the leather. And so I'll show you a picture of that over here as well. So you can see that that discoloration did not come out. I still sold the bag, but definitely didn't make as much on the sale as I would if it hadn't have been flawed. So just full disclaimer, if you're going to use the OxiClean, you need to focus on the one spot. Like say there's a spot here, you want to focus just on that spot and rinse it. Do not get it on the leather part. So definitely use my air to your advantage. Just know not to use OxiClean on the leather part of the bag. And you're also going to need a nail brush. I will put up here what I'm talking about. The nail brush bristles are more of a medium. As far as being, if they're soft or hard, they're more in the middle. If you get something like a toothbrush with soft bristles, it's not going to be strong enough to scrub this. However, if you use something a little more abrasive, it could damage the bag. So I have a nail brush that I just had laying around the house that is more of a medium. And so I'm going to be using that to kind of scrub some of the areas. As far as that, the only thing I can think of you might need is something to stuff the bag with when we're finished. And so the bag, when it's drying, you let it air dry, and you have to put something in there to keep the shape of the bag, because if I just let it air dry flat, the bag isn't going to have any shape to it. So we do want to make sure that we are going to put something in here. So actually just use the plastic bags that you get from the grocery store, because you can reuse those or you can just throw those away and they're free. And so I use those as well. So those are the items that you're going to need for this. Pretty simple and straightforward. So the first thing that you're going to do is look over the bag and make sure that there's nothing inside, you know, trash, things like that. Hardware, I would probably take these off. One of them is like a patent leather, if you can see that. The rest of them, oh, so is this one. There's 3 different little ones. This one is a patent leather, and then this one's metal. But just so that they don't get in your way, I would take these off first. And then I'm going to go through the bag and just look for any trash. You definitely want to get any trash out. I'm really lucky because these bags really haven't been used. So I'm not sure if she even used these that much. Now, I will say they do have some marks on the outside. So what I noticed with this bag is almost like a water stain on this bag. So hopefully you guys can see there's just these water stains where maybe she went outside and it was raining. But that proves to you that you can't just spot clean bags. So if there was like, say, a big mark here and I wanted to just spot treat this and get it wet, kind of scrub it a little bit and then kind of rinse that area, this part of the bag would be a different color once it dried. That's what happens when you get a water stain. So I've tried that before, and that's the reason I know it leaves watermarks. So that's why you have to soak the bag. I've done a little bit of research on soaking, and this is what I have done in the past. I had a big Dooney and Burke lot, and I soaked all 4 of the bags and I reshaped them, letting them air dry, and they look 10 times better. So anyway, here's the back. Hopefully you can see this bag has some shine to it, so hopefully you can see the marks that I'm talking about. But other than that, there isn't even any wear marks on the bottom. So this bag is in great condition other than just being a little bit dirty. So the strap I am going to take off, and the reason why is it's in great condition. It's not going to be any different from the bag when I clean it, and it would just kind of get in my way. So these do come off, so I'll be taking those off. You do want to open all the pockets just in case there is some like dirt, so that way when you soak it, it'll come out. So that's that bag. There is a spot here, right here. I don't know if you can see. There's a little brown spot, and I don't know if this is like a marker, like a mark on it. I do have some leather cleaner and conditioner, so I'm going to hit that with it when I'm finished. All right, so the next bag is very similar, not quite as big. It's in beautiful ivory color. Same situation. I would go through and take off any of the hardware. I'm going to take off this shoulder strap, go through it. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Beautiful bag. Look at how pretty. It's a beautiful pink color on the inside. There is some just dirt and marks on the inside just from wearing that I will make sure that I scrub. So soaking alone, it's amazing how much will come off of the bag just by soaking. Even a bag that's not really that dirty, just soaking it, the act of soaking it will get rid of a lot of this. And then what's left is what you use the scrub brush with. So the inside of this bag, it is a little more dirty, but honestly it's because it's a light color and it's going to show. She definitely probably kept some makeup or something in here, so that could be clean. And you can flip some of these bags inside out. I probably wouldn't with this one, but some of them you can. Let's see. So the outside is actually in pretty good condition as far as like marks or anything, but because it's ivory, you know, any little mark is going to show up, especially on in the pictures. So there's really not a lot, but definitely could use a soaking. There is a little tiny bit of wear on the corners of this one, but not bad at all. So this will do well as well once I get it all clean. All right, so now that you guys have seen the bags, you know what material we'll need. We're going to go ahead and
so first things first, you're obviously going to want to clean out your sink. So this is my basin that I said I had out in my garage. And I do apologize, my garage is pretty dirty. So, you know, if you see some clutter in the background, it is a garage. So anyway, I've already cleaned this out. There was quite a bit of dust because I don't use this on a regular. But I just have a bristle brush that I'm going to kind of clean it out with. Make sure it's nice and clean before I go and put my bag in here. So make sure you do that first. Alright, so I have my material laid out here. So here is my handy dandy OxyClean. This is my favorite for just getting stains out. Like I mentioned earlier, do not use it on the leather part of your bag. So I definitely wouldn't soak your bag in this. It does have these little crystals as well that can damage your bag, but it does work well for a stain remover. So like I said, on areas that really need to be hit with a stain remover, I might use it on that. Also have my OxyClean gel stick. I always call this a pin, but it's not. It's much bigger than a pin, but it's my gel stick pin. That's what I call it. It is what it is. But this is the Max Force, so this is really great for set-in stains. So if you put it on and leave it for about 10 minutes, it'll get out pretty much everything. So here's my nail brush I was talking about. This is old. I've had it for a while, but the bristles are perfect. They're short. and they just really get the job done. So this is what I use to hit any kind of set-in stains, kind of on this one, how you can kind of see the water stains. I'm hoping these will come out with the soak, but if not, I'm definitely going to be using this on that. Don't be afraid to use it. I know that was my main concern. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to tear up my bag, but it doesn't. It's very, very well-made quality bag. It's not going to damage it. My hammer, it's just this laundry detergent. It's just kind of their Clean Burst, the basic Arm & Hammer. So I'm going to be using that in the water really quick. I'm going to go ahead and get it started. Alright, so here we go, and I do apologize if there's any background noise. I am in my garage and the door is open just to allow for some light to come in here, and the birds are singing, so if you hear them, sorry. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and let that fill up. Like I said, I'm going to use some of this detergent. I'm going to go ahead and squirt a little bit in there. Don't use a lot, okay guys? Really, seriously, don't use a lot of this stuff. I'm maybe going to do 1 squirt. Okay, hopefully you can kind of see that. Not a lot. Water's getting warm. Swirl it around. And I'm going to go ahead and place my first bag in. Okay, that should be enough. Now, one thing that you do have to think about is these like to float, and they don't like to be completely submerged. So sometimes you have to put something weighted on this. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and take off this hardware right quick and the handle, as it doesn't need to soak. Alright, so we are ready to soak. Took all the hardware off. I'm going to go ahead and place it directly in here. Push it down to get it completely submerged, and let's see if it's actually going to stay down. I may have to put something weighted on top just to keep the bag down. So I'm just going to use my OxiClean. I just have it sitting here. It's definitely heavy enough just to kind of push that bag down. Okay, so we're going to let this sit for 10 minutes. I'm going to set my timer and we will come back and see the progress. So you can actually see how dirty the water is. Let me show you. You can kind of see that it's definitely a little bit dirty. It's not too bad. Like I said, her bags weren't as bad as most. So let me squeeze this water out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to work on some of these areas. I still kind of see a little bit of water stain. Hopefully you all can see too here. I'll probably just give this a good once scrub over with a little bit of the OxiClean gel, as I know it doesn't damage the leather. This is the stuff that you have to be careful about damaging. So mainly because, let me show you, this OxiClean has crystals in there, and you have to use hot water for those to dissolve, and that's the reason that it can damage the leather. Alright, so I'm going to start with this because I know that this will get that water stain out, and I'm going to use a little bit of my, let me get it wet, a little bit of my gel. I'm not going to use a lot. It only took like half a pump, and you can see how much that is already bubbling up. So a little bit more water. Focus in on some of these little stains. So I'm just going to go in and gently rub the area. it looks like the rest of them got out. There's a little bit here. I don't know. Hopefully you can see that here. There is a little there. So you can easily reach your hand in the bag as well to get kind of a flat surface. And then I'm going to come in here and just scrub the area. And like I said, this stuff, if you let it sit and let it soak in, it really will do some magic for you. You don't even have to do a lot of scrubbing. All right, so the back definitely still has some water stain there. So we're going to work on that. Hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy with me moving this camera around. So as you're scrubbing, you'll need a little more water. So just kind of dip it in the water I have over here. Just go in and don't be afraid. You're not going to damage the fabric, I promise. Unless you've got some kind of bristles that are really, really strong, you will not damage the fabric. I'm going to use a little bit more of my gel. Remember, I started off with just a little. You can always add more. Don't want to have too much. It is a little hard to rinse these out if you have too much of the cleaner. There's a spot here I'm going to work on. You can use a toothbrush for this. I have used a toothbrush, but you know, you can only work with a very small area with a toothbrush. Now, if you see these little black specks, all that is this coming off, this paint. So don't freak out and think that something else is happening. It's just my brush is old and seen better days. All right, so this is looking pretty good. Definitely check the bottom. That's where most stains usually are, but her bag is fairly clean. Thank you, Trisha. And as it's like, you can tell that I really don't see that water stain on the back anymore. So definitely working. Let me see. Yeah, I don't really see any more. Let's just double check. There's still kind of a mark here, but other than that, looks pretty good. Maybe right here. Give it a little scrub. Now, next would be the inside, but the inside of this bag is black. And so there's really not any stains because it wouldn't show up on black. A little bit more of this gel here for this stain. Right here. It's always good when you can't find the stain, you know, you're doing something right. So you really do have to get in there, use some elbow grease to get some of this stuff out, but I'm really lucky with this bag. There's not a lot for me to scrub. So once I've kind of gotten all of this out, I am going to let it sit here for a few minutes just with this cleaner on. Because like I said, it does amazing things for your set-in stains. I still see kind of one here on this corner. So let me work on this again. Sometimes there are going to be stains you just can't get out. Maybe ink stains, things like that. And that is okay. As long as you've done your best, right? That's what my mom always says. Do your best. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. You can tell that the water stain came out on the back here. Still a little mark right here, but for the most part, it's come out, which is awesome. That was my main concern. Also, if you do see stains when the fabric is wet, when it's dry, they're really not there. So, okay, so that looks to be pretty good. I really am not seeing anything else that needs to be hit. All right, so we're gonna let it sit just with this OxiClean for about 5 minutes, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it back in the water and let it soak. That's gonna help rinsing all of this off, and then I run it under the water to rinse it a second time. So I'll get back with you in about 5 minutes. All right, guys, so it's been 5 minutes. I went ahead and put my bag back in here so it will soak for about 10 more minutes. Then, like I said, I'm going to rinse it under the faucet. But I did want to show you something really, really quickly so you know the bag was pink. And you know how I said if you put the cream-colored bag in there, it could possibly bleed. So just by cleaning it, there are some pink marks on my white towel. So I'm really glad I used a white towel so it showed that. So because this bag has probably never been clean, some of that dye will come out. which is completely normal, but showing you that on a white towel really proves my point that this could definitely damage another bag. If you had, say, that ivory bag in there, there's a chance you could transfer some of that dye onto the ivory bag, which we definitely don't want to do. So I just wanted to show you that. So this is going to sit in here for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to rinse it under the faucet, which I will show you how I do. Then I'm going to show you how I hang it and let it dry. Alright, so it has been the 10 minutes. You can see how dirty the water is. At least I hope you can. There's definitely a lot of dirt in there. I've seen a lot worse, that's for sure. So now we're going to drain this water and rinse under cool water. Get all these suds off. Kind of wring it out a little. So we definitely want to rinse it really good. You don't want to leave any kind of suds in here whatsoever. Looking good. I don't see those stains anymore, so that is good. Okay, that's pretty good. So now I'm going to get it out and dry it with my towel and then show you how I hang dry it. Alright, so I'm going to pat dry it with this. Okay, so as stated before, I'm going to go ahead and stuff my bag with these. These are just garbage bag and not garbage bag, grocery bag. So I'm doing this to keep the shape as it dries. There, now we've got to keep the shape. Okay, so there's that. So now we're going to hang it just with a hanger. And I put it up here. There we have it. So just in my bathroom, that way the water as it drains will just go straight into the bathtub. And that is how it dries. So I'm going to get back with you in about 24 hours and show you the final result. Alright guys, so this bag is dry and ready to be up in my Poshmark closet. I wanted to kind of show you just what it looked like now that it is dry. You can see that there is not any of the surface marks on this anymore. Now there are some faint things. Now, as I said before, we're not miracle workers. We can't get this completely clean as it is a used bag, but looks pretty good to me. It definitely is huge improvement. Not that it was that dirty, but it definitely had some surface stains that we wanted to focus in on, and I feel like we did a pretty good job getting rid of these surface stains. As stated, there are still some small marks. I could go back through and re-soak it. Honestly, they're so minor, I'll probably just leave it, sell it as it is, as it's in perfect condition with a few minor flaws. This mark did not come off. I did hit it with some conditioner and cleaner. It's just part of being a reseller. There's going to be flaws, and so yeah, I think this turned out really great. Alright, so there you have it. That is how I clean my bags. Do note that these are canvas bags. They are fabric. Bags that are leather, you have to clean a different way for me. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as I upload lots of reseller tips and things about reselling. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.